The distress beacon had been silent for 3 days. When the rescue ship finally arrived at Kepler 4 to be, what they found wasn't a functioning research outpost, but a graveyard of broken machinery and corrupted supply crates. Scattered across the emerald jungle floor. Evelyn Chen stepped off the transport shuttle, her boots sinking into the moss-covered ground. The air was thick with humidity, carrying the sweet scent of alien flora. Beside her, Theo Vasquez checked his scanner, his face grim. "Life signs detected," Theo said, pointing toward a cluster of prefabricated shelters half consumed by creeping vines. "But they're weak." They found the survivors huddled inside the medical bait, xenobiologists and engineers, their faces pale and drawn. Dr. Crixethal, a centaurian with luminescent skin now dulled to a sickly gray, looked up with hollow eyes. "The rations," Crixethal wheezed. "Contaminated during the crash. Fungal spores. We've been slowly poisoning ourselves for weeks." Evelyn knelt beside the alien doctor, her medical training kicking in immediately. The symptoms were clear: nausea, muscle deterioration, organ stress. The emergency rations that were supposed to sustain them for 6 months had become their executioner. Theo moved through the camp, assessing their supplies. His report confirmed their worst fears. "Everything's compromised. Even the water filtration system is failing. We have maybe 72 hours before complete system shutdown." The nearest supply vessel was 10 days away. The survivors wouldn't last 3. Evelyn stood at the edge of the clearing, staring into the dense jungle that surrounded them. Kepler 442b was classified as highly biodiverse, but unexplored. Regulations strictly forbade consumption of native flora or fauna, without extensive testing that required equipment they didn't have, and time they couldn't spare. What were you thinking?" Theo asked, joining her. "I'm thinking," Evelyn said slowly, "that humans didn't become the dominant species on Earth by following regulations." She activated her scanner and stepped into the jungle. Theo followed without question. The forest was alive in ways that made Earth's rainforests look barren. Bioluminescent mushrooms pulsed with rhythmic light. Vines coiled and uncoiled as they passed. Creatures with too many legs scattered from their path. But Evelyn wasn't looking at the alien. She was looking for the familiar. There, she pointed to a thick stalk with broad leaves, photosynthetic structure similar to Earth bamboo, high cellulose content. She moved to another plant. "These seed pods see the protein markers, and that sap glucose chains." Theo watched as she collected samples, her hands moving with practiced efficiency. "Evelyn, we can't what?" She turned to face him, her eyes fierce. "Let them die while we wait for proper authorization? Humans survived ice ages, deserts, and plagues because we adapted. We ate things. We experimented. We took risks." She held up a purple fruit, its skin translucent in the dappled light. "Every alien species in the galaxy evolved on their home world, eating their native food. They developed alongside it, biochemically compatible. But humans? We came from Earth and we colonized a universe that wasn't made for us. You know how we did it." Theo remained silent. "We ate everything," Evelyn continued. "We have the most versatile digestive system of any spacefaring species. Our livers can process compounds that would kill a centaurian. Our gut bacteria can adapt to break down almost anything organic. We're the only species that practices cuisine, the art of making poison into food." She took a bite of the fruit. Theo's eyes widened in horror. "Evelyn, no." She chewed slowly, analyzing the taste and texture. Sweet, slightly tart, with a bitter aftertaste. Her body would tell her within the hour if it was toxic. At WASN single quotes, T. Over the next 48 hours. Evelyn transformed the jungle into a pharmacy and pantry. She boiled roots to extract their starches, finding that when processed correctly, they formed a nutritious paste. She discovered that the bioluminescent mushrooms, while hallucinogenic in raw form, became perfectly safe when heated, and they were packed with proteins that the centaurian biology desperately needed. Theo became her assistant and guinea pig, his human constitution proving what Evelyn had claimed. They fermented vine sap into a surprisingly drinkable beverage rich in electrolytes. They smoked the meat of a 6-legged creature that tasted remarkably like turkey. The other survivors watched in amazement as the two humans built a kitchen. In the middle of an alien wilderness, Evelyn explained each step, teaching them which plants were safe, which needed processing, which were dangerous. Your people would never do this, Dr. Crixethal observed, sipping a broth made from root vegetables and mushroom stock. Color was returning to their skin. Too risky, too primitive. Evelyn smiled as she stirred a pot over an open fire. That's because your people evolved to fit their world perfectly. Your specialists adapted to your niche. But humans, we're generalists. We're the species that looked at a poisonous cassava root and said, I bet if we soak it, ferment it, and cook it, we can eat that. We're the species that invented cheese by storing milk in a sheep's stomach. We're weird. Theo laughed, offering the doctor a plate of grilled protein and sautéed greens. She's right. Do you know what humans eat on Earth? We consume fermented shark that smells like ammonia. We eat fungus growing on old bread and call it medicine. We drink bean juice that's technically a poison because it wakes us up. By the time the rescue ship arrived 7 days later, the survivors weren't dying, they were thriving. The camp had been transformed into a functioning settlement with cultivated garden plots, smoking racks for preserving meat, and clay pots for fermenting foods. The rescue team's xenobiologist stood at the edge of the camp, scanning the transformed landscape with disbelief. You cataloged and processed 47 native species for consumption in 1 week, without proper lab equipment? Evelyn wiped her hands on her apron, a satisfied smile on her face. We did what humans do best. We adapted. Theo added wood to the fire where a stew bubbled, its aroma filling the clearing. The galaxy might have better technology, longer lifespans, stronger bodies. But when everything goes wrong, when the systems fail, and the supplies run out, you want a human in your crew. Dr. Crixethal approached the rescue team, their skin now glowing with health. They turned poison into medicine, wilderness into agriculture, death into life. I've studied human history, but I never truly understood your species' greatest strength. What's that? The xenobiologist asked. Stubbornness, Crixethal said with what might have been a smile. The stubborn refusal to accept that something cannot be eaten, cannot be fixed, cannot be survived. Humans don't ask if something is possible. They simply do it and see what happens. As the rescue team began organizing the evacuation, Evelyn looked back at the jungle that had nearly killed them all, and that she had transformed into a garden. Somewhere in the canopy, a creature called out, its song echoing through the trees. The galaxy was vast and filled with wonders and dangers, but wherever humans went, they would find a way to survive. They would taste the unknown, process the inedible, and turn alien worlds into home. Because that's what humans did. And that was why the galaxy, despite its best efforts, couldn't help but be a little impressed.